Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. We're at 33 wins in a row. Palindromic. Out of control. 1 HP. G3DRTY2A. What do? We relax. Damage is amazing, for now. Rate of fire, very good. Isaac's Heart can get us... Okay, we can't pick it up. Not Isaac's Heart. Isaac's Jar of Tears can get us out of a little pickle, as just noted right there. Any enemy that can kill us in one hit is an enemy of the state right now. Just keep it moving. We're trying to hit all the rooms that have zero... Or let me put it this way. We're trying to hit all the rooms that are normal size. There's a real temptation right now to just pop the chariot card. In fact, I almost did it. Just pop the chariot card and go to town. It's a fool's endeavor. We have... It might not look like it for now. We have the advantage. Our stats are so unbelievably stacked for this early on in a run that we really got nothing to... We got nothing to fear as long as we play our game. If we don't play our game, everything could fall apart in a heartbeat. But if we play our game, if we hold on to this chariot card like we're playing the Lost, we only, break in case of emergency, then everything's fine. We'll probably have a scare. Inoculate yourself. The dream for us is not to go with a scareless life, and I do think it's worth exploring. Trying to get to the shop, ideally, so we can buy a spirit heart. We don't want a scareless life. What we want is the ability to have, the will necessary to survive a scare, knowing that it's coming. It's like watching the NHL playoffs. You don't expect, you're going to sweep the other team. Mostly, or you shouldn't, at least. You're going to go to overtime a couple of times. You're going to have some heart attacks, and hey, you might even lose. But as long as you execute on the strategy that works out well, as long as you don't panic, you got good chances. And immediately we do have a spirit heart for sale. We can rest slightly easier. Okay, okie dokie. That's only one spirit heart, but I'll tell you it's not only one spirit heart. Mostly because we got bombs from our item room. And good bombs at that. So the first thing I would do, you trade a bomb for 2 bombs. And a penny. Then, let's think critically here. A bomb for 5 cents. Equitable trade. A bomb for secret room access. Possibly a great trade. What? Really? That's surprising to me. That one still, to me, looks like the secret room. A bomb to reroll this and get another spirit heart, hopefully. You'll love to see it. We'll probably move on from there then. But, okay, just to have gotten those spirit hearts means a lot. If we had actually... that could be the secret room, but I'm not willing to offer it up yet. What about in here? Not willing to offer it up yet. I'm glad we didn't fight this guy, I'll tell you that much. Like, we could have fought him, and hope to get, like, whatever we would get from the boss, which we would expect to maybe have a good chance to be HP. There is a realm in which it's the right move for us. We shouldn't have been so aggressive there. I'm very, very glad it's not the approach we took. Although we did just lose our purity. Let's see where we stand. Thanks for the spirit heart. Speed up. Stats are still pretty good. Marbles giving you cracked crown is just unbelievable. And I do think we'll move to the next floor. Okay. So we look really, really good now, honestly. Certainly, very pleased. It's the first time, I can't remember how long it's been. Like, we've been tested on some recent runs. Not that much necessarily. But we have engaged in, some runs that were a little bit more competitive recently. This one, though, was kind of special. We very rarely start with 1 HP. That time, I don't sweat that damage. There's not that much we can do about one of those things coming from across the map. Chocolate milk is a beautiful get. Honestly, I don't believe that anything can make it through here as long as we just man the doors. There you go. So yeah, we're safe. It's hard to get over it. I still feel like we should be like, hey, be careful. I mean, you should always be a little careful, right? There's times we're being careful, you know, you should be extra careful. You know, what's a good time to be extra careful? When you're driving. You don't want to be like, oh, on this drive, you could probably afford to be distracted, right? When's a good time for you, to, you know, to maybe be like, we don't have to be so careful here? I mean, if you're like, you know what? Can't risk too much here. If you work an office job and you're like, oh, be careful at work, it's probably not necessary. I don't want to, you know, tell you what is or isn't necessary, but you know, if you do clerical work, I think you're probably going to be fine. You probably don't need to, hey, be careful at work, honey. You wouldn't want to get a paper cut, you know? It's like me, I would be careful at work. Most likely way for me to have an accident at work is to, you know, suffer an aneurysm after reading something in chat. So, I don't know how much control I have over that. We lost our Eternal Heart, huh? That's gotta hurt. That has gotta hurt. We have, now that things are safe, we should probably start to be a little smarter. Wow, that's a bit of a bummer. Just non-stop spiders in those pots, huh? I hate it when you open a thing you wanna get some money, but actually there's just a spider in your piggy bank instead. Book of Secrets. Book of Sin. Book of Sin, definitely better than Book of Secrets. It's probably a secret room right there, but we're gonna go to the cursed room because we can afford to for now. And I gotta tell you, it's rare these days I get to end my day with a little Isaac, but I'm happy with my schedule today. I will say, though, I don't mean to alarm you. My gamer IQ has been pretty low today. And I know you're like, nothing unusual about that. But it's worse than you thought. I've started making mistakes in Fall Guys. Of all the things, of all the games to make an error in. Fall Guys? Really? The game where you just hold forward and win? I know, it's scaring me, for sure. It's a scary time. But you know what? It happens from time to time. What do you gotta do about it? Well, I think you just gotta, you know, set yourself straight and know that you're, you know, you're gonna get there. You maybe have a little bit of an off day from a gamer standpoint. Try not to let it roll over into Isaac, but if it does, it does. And then, you know, move on. Dude, this is a huge get. The other thing I would suggest is just play your game, you know? We know how to play Isaac. It's not our first rodeo. There is a little something devilish percolating in my head. What if you used Guppy's Paw to create a situation where you got more HP to give to... No, that doesn't make any sense. Disregard. I was going to say where you got more HP to give to the Demon Judgment. It does give you more HP to give to the Demon Judgment, as long as you consider the Curse Room door, but it also takes away your capacity to give as well. So we don't want to give up too much here. Probably Stopwatch, I think, is good enough. It's a very nice speed upgrade. Tomo, where you going, buddy? I'm happy we at least got a Guppy item. That's something. And we could take a second look. It's not worth it. Real quick, I gotta tell you, it's not worth it. I mean, it can be in conception in some situations, for sure, but I would even say it can be in conception in a lot of situations. I just don't think that our current situation is one of them. We're not going to give too much HP away to Blood Banks and Demon Judgments in all likelihood. Now, I know we just did give a little away on the last floor, but I think moving forward, it's not that likely. We don't have an arcade-driven run right now. We have a run that's driven basically by purity. Not in a weird way, but like, you know, this run is essentially like, if we have the damage stat for purity, enjoy your life. And that's where we're at right now, and trust me, we are enjoying our life. If you don't, well, then we'll talk. Then we'll talk about what needs to be done. But for the time being, this is, it's got more than we could ever ask for. So win 34, I would say, is well within reason right now. Hope you guys are doing okay. As mentioned earlier, today is, well, I mean, you don't know if it's earlier, so that's fair enough. Fair enough for bringing it up. But today is Friday. pretty light. It's a light day in terms of, like, complicated work. Not that my work ever gets that complicated, but sometimes, you know. So not all videos are the same amount of effort. Let's put it that way. Today was a low effort day, and I mean that in the best way possible. Doesn't mean we didn't do hard work. How do you like that play right there, by the way? That's how you get back on the horse. But the work that we did was not particularly exhausting, maybe is a good way to put it. You know, just a good day, a good honest day of Isaac, honestly. Good honest day of Trackmania and a little Fall Guys. Did have a weird interaction, though, I gotta tell you. We went to the mechanics, the auto repair depot, because we're trying to pick up, like, we got a tire situation going on here. I won't belabor the point. When I told you that I sold our winter tires a couple episodes ago, we're definitely taking the Halo, by the way. We were entertaining the thought of selling our winter tires while also selling other stuff, but I didn't want to go into specifics. So now we're like, okay, we're gonna dump these old winter tires. So we went to the auto body shop, and we're like, hey, we need to pick up our winter tires that we've had on storage here. Didn't pick up the penny, but that's all right. And he's like, sure, okay, what's your name? And we told him our name, and he went inside. And then he came out, and he was like, you sure you have winter tires with us? All we have back here are all seasons. And then it dawned on us. And I asked, I'm not trying to throw my wife under the bus. It's been a busy year. But I was like, are you sure we ever got them changed back from winter tires to the normal tires? And she was like, yeah, of course. I remember specifically us going there and doing it. Turns out we did not do it. To be fair, we drove north to ski in, like, January. And then, like, 2 weeks later, we found out about the pregnancy. And then, like, a month after that, which is still wintertime, they're like, hey, let's shut down, you know, the world. So I do think that if there was ever a year in which we had an excuse, this is a good excuse. And it's, you know, let me put it this way. It's more dangerous to drive around in the winter on non-winter tires than it is to drive around in the spring and the summer on winter tires. So it's just a minor thing at the end of the day, but that's essentially the errand that has been with me today. And it froze me. I think we'll take sack as sacks. It froze me when the guy said, we just got all seasons back here. I was like, all seasons? But there's all seasons on our car. Who the heck broke into the mechanics and stole our winter tires and gave us their all seasons? It's funny how the brain works sometimes. Like, you've got a conclusion in your head that's so... you know, you're dead set on it being what... Don't hit me, I need the damage bonus. You're dead set on that being the case, that when you encounter new information that does not fit, you're like, wait a minute, that new information doesn't fit with my pre-existing conclusion. It must, and then you go on, like, a great leap of logic to make it work. Why not, right? So I think we must have, marble sucked, and phrasing, but we must have sucked with marble the, cracked crown, right? That's what happened there. I didn't just drop it for no reason. I hope that's the case. Our stats look really good, and part of that is obviously, the aura, but part of it, I think, is still cracked crown. Yeah, the guy, it's just one of those times, you ever have an interaction with somebody, and then, after the oh no. That was reckless, I'll admit. After the interaction, you're like, oh, we still got the damage. I think I prefer the Fool card, too. You're like, I want to call them up and be like, I know you think I'm an idiot, but I'm not an idiot. I was just temporarily confused because I was met with information I wasn't expecting. It happens to, I don't know, at least once a year. I mean, that's the story that I've told before many times, you know, about how, like, yeah, I was working in the office where I used to work, and somebody gave me some folders, and I said, all right. And they went, oh, are you from New Zealand or Australia? And I was like, no. And then they said, oh, where are your parents from? And I went, or they went, are your parents from Australia? And I went, I don't think so. Wrong answer. They left that interaction feeling that they were talking to the fool of the office. I'm not the fool of the office. Sharon is the fool of the office, okay? Don't love me with Sharon. You've seen her Facebook posts. We're not the same. Okay, give me that. You just want to call them up and be like, hey, we had a weird interaction earlier. I want you to know I also thought it was weird. That doesn't happen to me normally. I'm not normally that dumb. You caught me on a particularly dumb day. Alright, keep it moving. I mean, as long as we have the damage aura, this is amazing. And what is this? This will be win 34? It's one of those things where you're like, it's a long road, you know? 34 is kind of in the desert of milestones. That's why I call out something, you know, it's the Henrik Sedin milestone, it's the this milestone, it's the this milestone, you know? You gotta keep yourself moving. I think it's the same with, like, with any goal, you know? Like, if your goal is to lose, like, 100 pounds, when you lose 5 pounds, you're like, alright, I got, you know, we got it moving. If you lose 10 pounds, you're like, there we go, double that weight loss. Once you lost 15 pounds, you're like, oh, son of a gun. 85 pounds to go. You gotta keep those milestones coming, you know? Custom kitchen, refrigerator, you got to move those refrigerators. You got to move those counters. You know this. It's a good one. I'll admit, I don't know that much Dire Straits. I know that and, you know, Sultans of Swing. But, I mean, come on. If you don't like, Money for Nothing, you don't like music as far as I'm concerned. What, you don't like winning? This is a great room. I'm just trying to see what we actually want here, because we probably only want to open 1 or 2 of these. And I mean, look, it's kind of a little bit on the snoozer side. I would never disagree. But it's the item you want is Book of Revelations. Like, I could put on a little flex for Book of the Dead. I do like it a lot. But it's not what you really want. You know? You want the item that's going to keep you alive. I could even put on a flex, to be honest with you, for Shoop-da-Whoop. Especially with our incredible damage right now. But it's the kind of thing you don't want to do it, because if you lose, you look like the world's biggest idiot. Like, part of the... And I wouldn't call it a problem. But part of the thing is, in the short term, it's less about Book of Revelation, it's more about, like, Mom's Knife. But in the short term, people watching the video are going to be like, man, I wish you didn't just take the easy way out and take the easy items. But the streak is eternal. When you talk about, you know, glory and winning championships and doing the best you possibly can, very rarely are people like, yeah, but remember how we won the... Like, I never hear New Jersey Devils fans being like, yeah, we won the Stanley Cup a bunch, but we played the trap and it was boring. No, they're like, dude, I relish those championships. Those are the greatest those are the greatest days of my life. I got great memories there. Maybe not the greatest days of your life, but you know what I mean. Don't blow up the... I knew it was gonna happen. As soon as I placed it, I was like, these are mega bombs. So for me, I'm trying to strike a balance between, yes, entertainment. I mean, so, you know, the New Jersey Devils are in the entertainment business as well. I'm trying to strike up a balance between entertainment, but also, you know, I want my name up in lights. I want my name in the history books. We've been at this for a while, you know? We've been at this for a long time. It's been a great year. It's been an unprecedentedly great year for Isaac Performance. I guess 2015, when we had the super big streak as well, was good, but, you know. Honestly, the further away I get from that, the more... It's really good, dude. The further away I get from those days, the more inclined I am to believe that it was just really, 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 really good luck. Because I don't remember it at all. We can afford to get hit, but why would you? I guess is where I'm at. You know, we got a really good thing going here. I mean, this is a fast run, too. And you know... Oh, my God, hit, dude! But at least our rate of fire is slightly better. That was still really quick. Ludo? No. Dude, Static Tears? Yeah, Mystery Sack's really good, too. But, I mean, Static Tears, that's where you want to be. We'll just get out of here. Now, oh, I was going to say, do I remember where to go? I don't need to remember where to go. Might as well peep the shop. If nothing else, at least we could donate to our donation machine and keep things moving here. What do we got? What do we got next? Because I did get hit there as well. I'm embarrassed to admit I got hit there as well. I didn't see what improved there. It was not damage, though, I'll tell you that much. Can I tell you, and I'm not trying to say that we've had a hard road lately, because I don't believe that that's true. Although we did have a hard road at the very beginning of this one, but not for very long. I can't remember the last time I felt this good about our damage stat. I feel like recently we've had a lot of runs that are kind of like a little touchy on the damage, but very good on defense. By the way, you may occasionally hear screaming from the other parts of the estate. There's no reason to be perturbed. My wife just said that she's playing Mr. Driller. Now, I hope that's not a euphemism, because we got a child on the way. Mr. Driller? I thought Mr. Driller was the mailman. It's an old joke, you know. Used to be the milkman. Can you believe that we, as like a, I don't know if this is true the world over, but, you know, at least in North America, I got to assume in Europe as well. I don't know about the rest of the world. There used to be people who would deliver milk to you door to door. Like every morning, they'd show up at your house with like a newspaper and 2 liters of milk. How much milk were people drinking in like the 1950s? That is insane to me. I'm not, look, I've been down the milk and orange juice road enough in the past. I know that it's a touchy subject. People will be like, stop talking about milk. Start talking about something less contentious like politics. But like genuinely, you know, my personal take on milk is not necessarily saying that milk is bad for you, but I think that, you know, if you believe that milk is necessarily good for you and is like a health food, then, you know, the milk industry, let me put it this way, their advertising dollars were put to good use when you saw the ads. But either way, I'm like, man, I just can't imagine. I guess if you got like 4 kids and you drink milk every day, you kind of need a fresh supply, but it's just kind of crazy to me, dude, that you would... Like, doesn't that sound weird in hindsight, or like with the benefit of living in a different time? That if you went back in time, you might meet somebody, you know, and you'd be like, hey, what's your job? And they'd be like, I carry milk to people's doors every single day and drop it off. That just seems so weird to me. It's like milk and newspapers are the only thing. So I'm resetting my purity stat here. That wasn't just dumb damage. It just seems so weird to me that those are like the only 2 like daily deliverable things. And even newspapers, like they just kind of come by and huck it at your door, right? The milkman, he can't huck it because the milk's not even in bags. It's in glass bottles. What's up with that, dude? I mean, I know it's a weird bit. I don't really have anything to defend against it being a weird bit. It's a weird bit, but just kind of blows my mind that, you know, like, it's been probably like at least 40 years since milkmen, milk deliverers were a thing, but like, oh, Seraphim. What a weird boss room, dude. And then at the end of the game, we'll put a boss room that has 3 of the most important resources you could ever ask for. 2 red hearts and a single bomb. Anyway, sometimes they are useful. I'm not going to say no to it. I guess we should have used Book of Revelation so we could have gotten another level Meat Boy. But it is, I mean, it's kind of crazy to think how much society's changed in a fairly limited amount of time. Don't really want either of these, to be honest with you. Or those, for that matter. Sure. I think this is a weird... It very slightly affected our rate of fire, but it was still very high. Okay, this is awesome. This is a great stat, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, I don't have any more, like, poignant commentary on it. I'm just like, man, whenever I think of, like, weird jobs, I think the tendency is to, like, go back in time, like, 500 years and, you know, be like... Well, I'm trying to think of a good one, but now I can't. Like, I'm the guy who tastes the king's meals so that he knows they're not poison. But you go back like a little bit, and some of them are weird. Like, admit it, if somebody invented the concept of being a milkman now, sure, fine. Okay, my mistake. If somebody invented the concept of being a milkman now, you would be like, that must be something that's invented in, like, Portland, right? That must be something, or Vancouver for that matter. Something that's hipster central. They'll be like, no, middle America, brother. Guy in an all-white suit with his name stitched onto his coveralls comes by and goes like, you know, hello, Mr. Morgan. 2 liters? Yes, 2 liters, the same as always, thank you. You know, it's just wild to me. Then again, now that I think about it, I don't want to make people feel old, but I've been stuck in the idea that, like, oh my god, dude, oh my god. That, like, the 1950s are, like, 30 years ago. The 1950s are actually pretty close to being, like, a century ago. They're close in the cosmic sense. Like, they're not close in the sense of, like, you know, and blink and you'll miss it. But I always have to think, like, you know, because I kind of had my years of fruition in the 1990s. So for me, the 70s was like, whoa, dude, that was like 20 years ago. That's ancient. But that ain't really how it is, you know? The 70s are a half century ago. I can't really feel nostalgic about it. I wasn't alive for the 70s, but, you know, it just gets you thinking. So I do apologize. Okay, I won't take that. And mostly it's because it doesn't actually help us here. I do apologize. We should have fought Mega Satan. I mean, we would have crushed him easily. The thing is, I was like, ooh, forget me now. And we don't even have a spacebar item to worry about. So that kind of cannibalized my Mega Satan play, but... I mean, you're really just, you know, don't try not to get too bent out of shape about, you know, a preference of which boss we're gonna stomp, because I mean, we are sincerely gonna stomp. This is lights out. This is lifestyles of the rich and the famous, always complaining, always complaining. What's your favorite Good Charlotte song? I'll tell you, in the year 2001, the summer between either 7th and 8th grade or 8th grade and 9th grade, I can't remember. I probably listened to their song, The Motivation Proclamation, like at least 50 times a day. And I was like, this is the best stuff that's ever been written. I was like, Good Charlotte was one of my first instances of being a hipster, where I was like, I liked them when they were famous, but before they were super mega famous. Anyway. Look how that turned out. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. That was a stomp, and we are at 34 wins in a row. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!